So that Alvin guy's really fat. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Hey, man.
Hey.
I didn't think we'd be able to do it.
I know.
But we did it.
We did it.
Well, I did it. You did nothing.
What'd you do?
I mean, I didn't do anything either.
Okay. What did we do? What did we do or not do?
I didn't think. I thought we were gonna have to do this on Zoom.
I know.
And I didn't do anything. I just got lucky, I guess. If you think about it.
Yeah, it's true. Dodged a bullet.
Yeah. I mean, I had. What's today? Today's the 1st.
It sure is. It's New Year's Day.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Yes. Happy New Year, everyone.
I keep thinking, like, for some reason, I keep thinking it's the 2nd. I don't know why. I think
don't get ahead of yourself.
Progressed past
Yeah.
the actual holiday.
Yeah.
It's weird because New Year's Eve, you would think, I got to adjust. I feel uncomfortable.
Okay.
You would think that New Year's Eve is the holiday, but it's actually New Year's Day. That's the actual, like, federal holiday and all that jazz.
Yeah.
I always think of New Year's Eve being the day, and then New Year's Day kind of just being another day.
And the opposite for Christmas.
Yeah.
I feel.
Yeah. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
It's just really strange. I think because, the day, you're doing all the prepping and the celebrating, honestly, on the day.
Yeah.
And then, today would be today's hangover day. Today's deal with the consequences of your actions day.
Yeah. Yeah.
So.
Tighten up. Tighten the belt.
Yeah.
Get your fitness plan set up.
Yeah. I tried.
Eat some burgers.
Eat some burgers.
Yeah.
Just kind of absorb all of the champagne and whiskey and vodka or whatever is your poison.
Can we just say, champagne's never a good idea, like ever.
Yeah.
It always gives you a headache.
Mm-hmm.
It always does.
Yep.
Maybe we're just too poor to buy like the $2,000 bottle. But it's not worth it.
I can't imagine that $2,000 bottle not having the same effect.
I don't know. Maybe that's why it's $2,000.
Yeah.
But I'd rather have a couple,
they're literally
whiskey gingers and be good.
They're poisoning the peasants. They're like, you can't have the good stuff, so here, drink poison.
Yeah.
This is a light dose of poison.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to wake up and feel like shit. You know why? Because you shouldn't have drank this.
It's not actually champagne unless it's from France.
Oh, God. If anybody actually says that, like in a conversation, just like, get the fuck out.
Well, this actually isn't champagne. It's sparkling wine.
Get out of my house.
Okay.
Get out. I don't want you here.
I'm going to go.
I don't want that kind of energy.
Mm-hmm.
Not in 2021.
Yeah.
We're bringing positive energy into 2021.
Yeah, okay.
My dad got me cologne. It's not the only thing he got me, but that was some of it. He's like, you stink. How you gonna catch any bitches? You're gonna catch no bitches. You gotta get that cologne. You gotta get some smell good. So my mom, she saw it and she goes, "Oh, where'd you get this? Is this And it's Dolce & Gabbana, and she pronounced it Dolce & Gabbana. I'm not making fun of her. I love my mother.
Okay.
But I corrected her. I said it's Dolce & Gabbana. And she goes, if you correct me one more fucking time. I was like, what do you want me to do? She's like, I am 60 years old. I have lived my life, and I've gone this long. You think I'm going to change now? I'm like, where does all this?
I will crack this bottle on your head right now.
I was like, what are you talking? I'm like, okay, so you want to spend the rest of your life pronouncing it incorrectly? And she was like, yes. She's all the way in her room. Yes.
Damn straight.
So, yeah, people don't want to be corrected.
Yeah, no. They never do. No one ever really wants to know unless it's something that's going to embarrass them. And if they're beyond the point of being embarrassed by that thing, they don't care.
Yeah.
Don't bother.
That's definitely true.
Don't bother.
There's no point in the conversation in her life from going forward. If she called something Dolce & Gabbana and somebody out was like, it's Dolce, she'd be like, I'll cut you. I don't care. I'm not wearing Dolce & Gabbana.
Right.
So I don't give a fuck.
Right.
Let's start the show.
Okay.
So on this beautiful New Year's Day, you went and grabbed something from Trader Joe's.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know anything about it? Do you want to kind of explain it? Do we want to?
No, I don't. But I bought it specifically because I don't know anything about it. Other than Trader Joe's has surprisingly good prices on their beer.
All right.
So all of this brand, I know it looks like Boatswain, but it's actually pronounced Bosun.
See, there you go again.
Yeah.
Really?
Sorry.
I thought it was Boatswain.
It's not Boatswain. We have a cold read on the package itself. It says Bosun. Pronunciation.
Oh.
Beers are unique brews made in small batches. Our ale has aromas and flavors of sweet, roasted malt balanced with moderate bitterness coming from the high level of hops. This is brewed and canned by Rhinelander Brewing Co., LLC, Monroe, Wisconsin. IBU 80. Original gravity, which we never rate, is 17.35. Appearance is dark brown.
Gravity?
It's a 7% ABV.
All right. Well, I can't wait to get into that. This is episode 294. My name is Marco Dupa. That is Adam Obesius Rodriguez.
Happy New Year, Brewskis.
And this is the One Beer In podcast. Yeah.
Lost to be found by someone to save you when you're down. Yes, I'm bored when it's bright out. So bored when it's bright out. 4 to 5 a.m. takes me to
We'll bring it back at some point.
Excuse me.
That's right, kiddos. This is the One Beer In podcast, the podcast where two brews crack open a brew and we see where that one brew takes us. Yeah, that's our New Year's Day special, I guess.
Yeah.
New Year, it's 2021. I hope everybody had a nice celebration. I hope if you could, which there's no reason why you couldn't, you socially distanced, you stayed home. You played it safe. I saw some pictures of people who did not. I saw some pictures of businesses that did not.
Yeah.
And I understand that you guys got to make money and you got to keep your doors open, I guess. But I just feel like, I'm not going to wag my finger at people for too long. I'm going to wag it. I just feel like there's ways that it could have been done. I mean, restaurants are open and they're doing the best that they can, socially distancing, keeping tables apart, keeping masks on, just doing what they can. And I just saw some of these places where they just were like, fuck it.
Congregate.
Yeah.
You have a drink in your hand.
Shoulder to shoulder, bro.
You can not have a mask. It's
what kind of stupid fucking rule is that?
Such a cop-out, yeah. It's like I think that's what they do at Disney. Or Universal.
Drink in your hand.
If
don't
you have
worry
a drink
about
in
a
your
mask.
hand or food in your hand, you don't need to wear a mask. Some places make you sit down, which makes more sense.
Yeah.
If you do that, but it's just such a stupid rule.
It's
clearly skirting safety. You might as well not do it at that point.
Right. Exactly. Because what difference does it make? If you're walking around a park, you're bumping into other people, and you've got a fucking turkey leg in your hand, and you're like, well, I don't have to wear. How am I going to wear a mask? I got to shovel this down my throat.
Just collecting spores in the air.
Just move just moving it like a butterfly net, just catching everything
it's a wand. Just picking up COVID.
Yeah. So just such a cop out, but far be it for us to judge. Especially me, I had, I didn't have a socially distanced Christmas party, so who the fuck am I, right?
But you did get tested, which is responsible.
I did. I still feel, I feel like spasms of shame, every now and then I'm just like, I could do better, and I should.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's just hard, dude. It's hard. I'm completely understandable of people who it's fucking bullshit is hard, man. It's just so fucking hard.
Well, the thing that I've seen, I forget what the company was, which means it probably wasn't a very good ad. But the ad was essentially saying like, we're almost there. The vaccines are out there, they're getting distributed. #finish strong,
That's not bad.
It's not. I like the sentiment. I don't remember the company.
Yeah, that's the bad part.
I like the sentiment because I felt a lot of that recently, which is like, I feel like a lot of people are like, okay, we're there now. Like, let's just fucking go.
Yeah.
Let's do it. But it's so tempting to be reckless now,
and
to like, it's like the soldier who made it like to the very last day of the war just to get shot,
right,
or just to get like in a car accident or something,
right
before he gets sent home.
Right.
It's like don't like that's the worst.
Yeah,
take me out at the beginning if you need to.
Yeah,
not now, not like this.
Right,
not like this.
Not like this.
So yeah, I think it's just important to reiterate to people like it's not over yet.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost. But you still have to be careful.
Yeah.
And even once you get vaccinated, there's tons of people out there who aren't.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to need to be the same protocol because this thing is, it's going to change and we're going to need updated vaccines over time. And it's not.
I mean, it's already mutated.
Yeah, it's not 100% effective anyway. So you never know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's just we're not home free yet as much as we want to be.
Be smart. If you feel like you've been doing what you've been doing or doing well with what you've been doing, just like that ad that we can't remember the company for, finish strong. Like and even with like that's kind of misleading too, because even at the once we get on the other side of this, there's still a lot of things that people should continue to do.
Sure,
which we've talked about in the past. Just like the fact of the matter is, human beings are filthy.
Yeah,
businesses are filthy.
Yeah,
and we can do a lot more as far as hygiene is concerned, personal hygiene and, collective hygiene.
Yeah. Responsibility for your own cleanliness, I think, is something that a lot of people are going to walk away with. A lot of people aren't because they're filthy animals who are still going out to dive bars and, picking their noses and eating it.
Picking their noses and eating it.
Yeah. But, I think the collective, as it would be, of humanity is it's going to leave this different with better habits, better cleanliness habits. So.
Okay. Let's not harp on it too much.
Okay.
Because we have a lot to talk about, my friend. A lot to talk about. First things first. We had a very Merry Christmas, I think.
We did, yeah.
Let's talk about it.
Okay.
Let's talk about that.
So,
you spent it with your family, right?
Yeah.
Mom,
yeah.
dad, grandparents, yada yada.
Yes.
Very cool.
Yep.
Do you want to? Let's just get down to the nitty gritty. Like, what did you get?
Well, this year, me being an adult, I got a lot of adult things.
Ugh.
So porno, dildos,
butt plugs,
yeah. Grandma got me lube.
Nice.
No, I got a lot of stuff that I can use practically, which I actually at this age,
butt plugs, lube.
Yeah, exactly.
Porno.
All the stuff that I got for the majority of it was stuff that like I actually need, which is nice.
Yeah, it is nice when you get that.
Yeah. So I got a new standing desk thingamabob. I don't know what to call it.
Oh man, the standing desk is so clutch.
It's an adjusting thing.
Yeah.
It's not a full standing desk because I actually asked my mom not to get me that because I already have like an office desk.
Yeah.
That I like. So it's just like the one that you can adjust.
Yes. So you put it on your desk. You put your laptop or computer
and then you
on it, and
put it up, put it down.
Oh, it's so good.
So that'll be good for my back.
Very clutch.
I can stand. And then also for the times that I don't want to stand, she got me a new computer chair.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, so I'm not using your old one.
Yeah.
That's like half crooked like that still. So slowly giving me scoliosis.
There you go.
So I have both of those. Those are the two big ones.
And you can toss that fucking thing.
Yeah.
I don't
shoot it.
Shit back.
Yeah, throw it in a lake. Besides that, my brother got me Cyberpunk. Which is a gift and a curse.
Does he not listen to the podcast?
He clearly doesn't. It was funny, though. I was talking to my cousin Jason literally minutes before we opened gifts.
Mm.
And he asked me if I had Cyberpunk. I'm like, no. I was actually just talking about it on the podcast because I try to, sell the podcast to everyone.
Of course.
And I went on and on about how shitty Cyberpunk is at launch.
Did your brother hear this?
No,
Okay.
Fortunately not.
Okay.
And I open it and go. But honestly, I was excited because, first of all, content.
Of course.
Second of all, content.
Of course.
So I went into it very, very cautiously, but optimistically, because I think that we have done a disservice to the game itself by talking about it so much without actually playing it ourselves.
Okay.
So what I'm saying is I'm currently playing it. I will have impressions and a full review by the time I finish the main campaign.
Okay.
So
I for one am very excited about this.
Okay. Good.
Did he get you the upgrade version, or is it just PS4?
Well, the PS4 version's a lot like the Assassin's Creed Valhalla,
That you can just get
where you upgrade as soon as they come out with it.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. So then you'll have the sexy version when it comes out anyway. So
Yeah, and it runs better on PS5 anyway.
Yeah.
Than it would on my OG PS4. So that definitely helps performance wise.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'm in it. I'm playing it, and I got some thoughts, but I'm going to save them. I will save them.
All right. I'm kind of excited.
Yeah.
Kind of excited about it.
Yep.
Okay. What adult stuff? What other adult stuff did you get? Socks.
Yeah, my brother got me some socks as well.
Yeah, I get socks.
Yep. They are kitschy socks that have little grips at the bottom, and the grips say, "If you can read this, bring me another beer." So there's that.
All right. What are you, beating the shit out of someone while also like you're like stomping their face and you're like, also
beer. Yeah, and besides that, it's mostly just clothes and stuff, new shirts, some nice workout pants because they know I'm fat.
Yeah.
It's a slow little push of please exercise more.
Yeah, it's one of those things.
Yeah. Which I
we got you resistance bands, so maybe like wear those while you're eating.
Yeah,
or don't eat.
Yeah,
yeah, and just wear the resistance bands all day.
Get some weights.
Maybe you should resist eating.
Maybe you should get a lap band surgery. Maybe that's what you need.
That's the resistance band.
Eat that, you fat pig.
Okay.
So yeah,
cool,
other than that, it's mostly just regular old useful stuff. Yeah, it was good.
Nice.
It was good.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Very nice. Very nice.
Very
nice.
And Tenet.
Oh yeah. Oh man.
Tenet on 4K.
So fucking
Tenet on 4K. 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 Which we plan on watching tonight.
Watch it tonight. Hey. Watch it tonight.
So maybe we can have a one reel in on Tenet.
Yeah.
Next time. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, if it's dog shit, definitely.
Okay. All right.
No, we've done it for good movies too.
Yeah.
But it's such a polarizing movie.
It is, yeah.
I've seen reviews where people are like, it's Nolan, it's another masterpiece, and then other people who are like, I still don't know what that movie's about.
Yeah.
Which is good because I don't know what that movie's about.
Me either.
I've been able to avoid all of the spoilers, even synopses of the movie. So I don't know anything about it. All I've seen is the footage. For some reason, I don't know why this is everywhere, but the footage of John David Washington and Robert Pattinson doing their fight choreography. For some reason, that clip just keeps popping up everywhere.
The only thing that I have seen post-release of Tenet is people talking about how even if you don't like the movie itself, apparently the action scenes are really good. Like some of the best of the year.
Love it. Already love that.
I'm into it.
I saw one thing where like Robert Pattinson was like 6 months into filming.
He had no idea.
I still don't know what this movie's about.
Yeah.
Which is, you ever think about that, like movie making itself? Because, they film things the way that it makes sense for filming, not for the movie itself, right? So they have the call sheet or whatever, and you show up, and they're like, this is the scene that we're doing today. And then it is up to, and this is, once you learn these kinds of, all this, but once you learn these kinds of things, you get a greater appreciation for what the director does, and most especially what the
Actors.
Not what the actors do. I mean, of course, but what the editor does.
Sure.
The editor, what the second unit director does, like all these people that you don't think about. Like the actors are going to show up and they're going to, but to your point, it has to be extremely difficult to just show up and somebody's like, all right, snap into this emotion because you're supposed to be sad right now.
That's
like,
the thing that always blows my mind is when you see the behind the scenes of these actors that they're like, yeah, we shot the end first. Yeah. So I had to, like, after reading the script, I had to get my character to that point where they end up at the end of this entire long journey.
Yeah.
And then I had to work backwards because the next scene we shot, I was midway through that.
Yeah.
And like thinking of the mental gymnastics in a good way that leads to a performance that makes sense and feels real to the character at that point.
Yeah.
You like think about how much training and like how much talent it takes to get your character to a place that you haven't gotten to in a theatrical sense yet.
Yeah.
Just reading on a page.
And even more so a performance that you're blown away by. We were just talking about Gladiator and imagine Joaquin Phoenix, like every day he has to show up and just come with it every fucking day. And like, where do you even pull that energy and how do you store that emotion that you need to have loaded and ready to go at a moment's notice?
Yeah. Well, imagine something like, speaking of Joaquin, think of like Joker. Mm-hmm. Imagine he had to play Joker as a fully formed Joker character before he had to play him as the pre-Joker where he was just a guy, a sad clown, like that kind of stuff is always like, I don't know how they do it.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
It makes sense when you see these stories about like a Daniel Day-Lewis or something and they stay in character the whole time and you're just like, what a weirdo. And it's like, it makes sense that that they would have to do that. It's still weird, but it makes sense that they would have to do that.
But then it's like, what stage of character is that? Do they just...
I always wonder about that.
Do they get into it wherever they start shooting and they just get to this like median of the character when they're out of the scene?
Yeah. Or do they like... I've heard this bit before, but like just imagining Daniel Day-Lewis as Lincoln and he's sitting down waiting for his call and somebody walks in with like a cell phone and he's just like, whoa,
what is this?
This is wizardry. It obviously can't be that far.
Yeah.
But then it becomes even more ridiculous if you think about Daniel Day-Lewis in character as Lincoln, but Lincoln is aware that he's in a movie, right?
Of his life.
Of his own life.
Yeah.
He has to be aware of that fact, right? And he has to not be blown away by every technological advancement.
Hello, Mr. Spielberg.
Right. So what level of in character are they?
Right.
The accent, the mannerisms,
apparently
the thought process.
In that movie, he did the classic thing of only responding to Lincoln.
I love that.
He demanded. I'm just thinking
about like
Daniel,
he's sitting there.
Daniel.
And he's smoking like a corn cob pipe. And they're like, Mr. Lincoln, do you want Subway or not?
Yes. Yes. What is the Subway you speak of?
God damn it. I can't do
you
this.
mean the railroads? Yeah. So he demanded that and also demanded that they keep modern technology away from him.
Okay.
So that wouldn't happen on the set, like a cell phone being on set. So he didn't have to worry about that. And I think that's a consideration they made because they know who they're dealing with,
Did he just sit on set then all day? Did he just stay on the set?
I don't know.
So that it would look familiar to me.
Yeah. Let me, he goes to his trailer and it's just oil lanterns and stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe.
Oh, excuse me.
You gotta, at the end of the night, you gotta sit down and, have your McRib and just be like, it's fine. I'm just making a movie. Right?
Yeah. You would need
like
to
when
just
you're- when
wipe
you're-
that down.
You're sitting by yourself and you're taking a shower in your trailer.
Yeah.
And you just have to be like, I'm good now.
He takes all the makeup off and stuff, and he's just sitting there and he's reading a book, and it's probably about Abe Lincoln's life.
Probably. Yeah.
There has to be a moment where he's just like, all right.
Let's see how the Celtics are doing.
Right. Yeah, maybe this whole thing is always exaggerated, but I don't know. Have you seen that documentary that I think it was on Netflix, and it was Jim Carrey when he did Man on the Moon?
Yeah.
He stayed in character as Andy Kaufman.
Yep.
And he was driving people fucking crazy.
Yeah.
And he drove himself almost crazy to do this, all for him to get like a Golden Globe nomination. It's fucking travesty, dude.
It's a good movie.
It is a good movie.
Yeah.
It's not. Honestly, that's not a commentary on his performance. It was a good performance.
Yeah.
It's just, I mean,
It didn't get the acclaim that it should have.
right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or
That you
what
expect.
would warrant, that kind of behavior and controversy.
Well, it's like Jared Leto famously in that.
Yeah, he got fat for that one movie.
Serial killer movie, right?
Yeah. Who did he play?
One of the famous serial killers.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Or did he play the guy that killed Lennon?
Oh, yes, that's who it is. That's
Yeah.
who it is. Yeah. Yeah.
And he got fat and ugly and and then the movie
Nothing.
just bombed.
Nothing. Brick. Acting brick.
Those are some of my favorite stories. Like, yeah, he lost all this weight for what? Like Christian Bale. Everybody always talks about like his weight yo-yoing, right?
It was the mechanic, right?
Yeah, or the machinist.
Machinist.
The Mechanic is a dope movie though. You ever seen The Mechanic with?
I don't think I have.
It's really good with Jason Statham.
No.
and Ben Foster.
No, I haven't.
It's a remake of a Charles Bronson movie, and The Mechanic is another word for assassin. So it's a dope.
You mean the
fucking
men who
movie.
paint houses?
Yeah, you got to watch that movie, The Mechanic. Okay. But The Machinist. I watched it, and it's pretty good.
Yeah.
But the most thrilling thing about it is obviously how insane he looks.
It's another Joker.
Yeah.
It's another Joker to me.
Yeah.
It's like the movie itself's fine, but it's not outstanding.
Yeah.
It's the performance and the dedication to it that really puts it over the top.
Yeah. And the big twist, I don't know. Just doesn't really.
Yeah, no.
It's like, okay.
Another movie I only need to watch once.
Yeah. Twist movies are like that.
Yeah.
Once
some of them warrant at least a second viewing.
If you didn't understand it, for sure.
Or
poorly done twists where you saw it coming and then it happens. You're just like, fuck this movie.
Right. Or like a Sixth Sense where you're like, let me see if the whole thing checks out.
Yeah. That's a good example.
Let me double check this math here.
Because after you watch it again, you go, wow.
They did it.
And you know what, dude? That is, in my opinion, the best kind of twist movie where if you were paying attention, it was right there the whole time.
Yeah.
I love that shit.
Right. And they don't contradict themselves.
Yeah.
They don't break their own rules.
You know what? I this is gonna be a veer off.
Okay.
But I'm gonna bring it home. Okay. So Common put out an album called B, right?
All right.
And it's probably his best, if not one of his best albums, right?
Yeah.
And he has this song on there called Testify. And it's a song where it's a story song where he's talking about how this drug dealer he gets locked up, right? And his woman, his queen, she's like testifying, hence the title of the song.
Right.
And it's also the sample that you hear throughout the song. But anyway, so the narrative is that he gets jammed up, and she's crying and she's all emotional. She's got to take all this responsibility for what's going on and all this stuff, and it's kind of sad or whatever. And then at the very end of the song, he's like, once they slam the gavel and they deal out his sentence, he goes away for life or what, I don't know. You find out that the wife was the drug dealer the whole time. And I think the lyric is she brings her face up laughing. The prosecutor didn't realize what happened. Shit. Something.
Line?
Line? When this bitch did the crime, the queen pin, right? But that's the last two bars of the song.
Yeah.
So the whole time he's describing this thing which is like pretty cut and dry. Like, yeah, he's a drug dealer and he got jammed up and now he's going to jail. And then at the very end, he's like, no.
Mm-hmm.
And all these people, I remember when the album came out, it's my least favorite song on the album. I skip it every time I listen to the album. I hate that fucking song.
The sample's kind of annoying.
Sample's crazy annoying.
Yeah.
Just keeps saying testify over and over and over again.
Yeah.
And I remember all these people, because they knew that I was a fan of Common, they would come up to me and be like, dude, that song Testify. He also released it as a single, so that didn't help. It was everywhere for a little while. And like, that song Testify, like crazy twist, right? And I just had to be like, I guess. I didn't want to be like a jerk off and be like, not very. I saw it coming the whole time.
Actually.
I mean, it was a very poorly written twist.
It's kind of like Stan. Now I think about it, it was you.
Yeah.
Damn.
Okay. That's a good point, because the rest of the song is so genius that that last, he didn't need to add.
It felt so like stapled on to the end just to have a twist.
Well, it's literally stapled on because it's the fourth verse.
Yeah.
Rap songs don't have 4 verses.
The song should have ended before that.
Yeah.
Like if it ended right there when he goes off the bridge and that's it, and it's just that's it.
Yeah.
You hit another chorus and we're out.
Yep.
And it's just a sad song.
Could have been fine, but instead we get we get like this bookend verse.
I'm sorry that I didn't write you back.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. I saw this thing on the news. Whoops. Oh, his name was Stan. Oh, it was you. Damn.
Oh, damn. How I need to know the time frame of Stan. I need to know how long from the first letter that he wrote to when he kills his pregnant wife.
Uh-huh.
Because
he sees it on the news while he's reading the letter.
Right.
So he had to have gotten the letter like immediately.
Ages ago.
Well, no, the last one he had to have, because he's saying
right. Yes.
The last
the one prior
gets,
to the crazy one, obviously, because that's a tape recording and he dies.
Yeah.
He doesn't hear that one. It's the second verse that he hears. That's the last one he hears.
Yeah.
The P.S. we should be together.
Mm-hmm.
That one.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, because that's what he's directly responding to.
Yeah. That's the weird that he's like, yo, that we should be together shit make me not want to meet each other. Like, right. So he's responding to the second verse.
Okay, so that checks out then. Because I was thinking that he had read the letter which actually was the tape recording.
Right. He doesn't get that.
Right.
Because they just find.
We only hear that.
Exactly.
Okay.
So, but what I want to know is, like, how crazy is Stan that, like, how long was it, a month that he didn't respond, where he was like, all right, I guess I'm just gonna kill myself and my girlfriend.
Right.
Because Eminem, like, obviously, like, the way that it's implied is that he has the letters and he just didn't have time to respond to them. Right. Yeah. So how long
did he wait until he went crazy,
or did he just was like, what year was this? 99? 99. Were we still writing letters to each other in 1999?
I don't know. Maybe.
I don't know. Anyway, so
I guess to celebrities, yes.
Yeah, you couldn't just email them yet, right? And obviously there was no social media, so you couldn't do that. So you had to write them a letter, right? Okay, I guess that checks out too.
Yes.
So, let's refocus the lens here.
Okay.
And get back to where we were.
You said we would. We swerved off.
Yeah.
Were we coming back?
We're coming back home to Christmas presents.
Okay. Fine.
Well, where else were we going to go with that?
It's going to be fun to label this podcast. Thank you, Marco.
You want to stay on movie twists?
No.
What other movie has a good twist that you can think of right off the top of your head?
Movie with a good twist.
A good twist, because you can name every M. Night Shyamalan. All his fucking...
yeah. That wasn't racist, by the way. I was just riffing.
Nothing. What's racist about?
I don't know.
M. Night Shyamalan.
I didn't want to be, perceived that way.
As a racist?
I didn't want to be perceived. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
Let's see. Movies with twists. Good movies with twists. Twists.
With the twists. How many songs? I commend Common for attempting the twist in a song. It's hard to do that. First of all, it's hard to write a story song. And then it's even harder to have it be clever.
Well, I mean, the one that people always talked about back in the day was Her.
Oh, from him.
Right.
Yeah, I used to love her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
but that one's pretty obvious, you know?
I think so, but everyone, at least the dum-dums I was talking to, thought that was brilliant.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. There's a very low standard for story songs in hip-hop for some reason.
But there shouldn't be. Like, you know, like, I feel like hip-hop is steeped in storytelling.
Yeah.
That's really its thing.
Yeah.
Slick Rick, you know, like.
Yeah. I mean, artists get commended for writing good story songs, but there just seems to be this really low bar for the quality of them.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what. Ghostface Killer. I would say that Ghostface probably the best storyteller in hip hop, I think. Some of the stories that he writes, they're as compelling as any, you know, mid-tier crime movie that you watch.
That's what he writes. Him and Raekwon.
Yeah, they're just I think they're on par with
Yeah.
any movie that you could watch that's around that
Yeah.
Cuz Slick Rick his stories were obviously he's a pioneer, he's a legend, he's one of the greatest of all time, but they were like simple, easy stories.
Sure. I mean, he was from the era where it was, I say hip hop, a hip it to the hip it, you know,
Right.
like. But he was telling stories with Nas.
Yeah, Nas.
What was the one? Being a gun.
No, you know what, dude, I'm so glad you brought that up because I wouldn't have thought of that.
Yeah.
I Gave You Power.
Right.
That song is so annoying. It's such a good song.
Yeah.
But the way that he starts it, he goes, you know, they use me, they grab me. It's like I'm a gun. You know what I'm saying? It's like I'm a gun. It's like, dude, we didn't need that.
We got it. We got it. Yeah.
And then he goes into the song, and the song is brilliant.
Yeah. You cut that intro.
We don't need
Perfect.
that. Well, how fucking stupid do you think your audience is?
Well, I mean, when he came out with that album, he was like 19?
Yeah, 19, 20,
Yeah, 20. So
yeah, I got it.
it's probably like, they won't get it.
They're not gonna 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 get it on the
to-
streets. I have to explain it to them. I mean, Tupac, great storyteller.
Yeah, he was a little simple, I think.
Sure.
They're good stories, but they're not as...
They're like fables.
Yeah.
Like, it's clear what he's getting across from the beginning. It's not like there's a twist.
Yeah. Rewind from Nas when he tells the story backwards.
Yeah.
That's some shit that you just like, you know, you're such a top level MC that you're like, what else can I do at this point? I've done it all.
Let me play around a little bit.
Yeah. I'm just going to have fun with this.
Yeah.
That's some shit that you don't even... Who thinks to do some shit like that?
Yeah.
Biggie.
Oh, yeah.
Warning is... you close your eyes and you can see Warning play out as he describes it.
Yeah. A lot of Ready to Die is...
Both of his albums.
Yeah.
Both of those albums, like the second disc of Life After Death is all just crime stories.
Yeah.
Long Kiss Goodnight, What's Beef.
I like how much of Ready to Die is like basically what's become rap horror as a genre.
Yeah.
Where it's like demented, like dark, brutal. But then he also makes like juicy. And it's like,
Right.
What?
Right.
What's happening here?
Makes no sense.
What's going on here? But it's such as a package, it makes so much sense.
People don't understand how much the stuff that they do is, first of all, unoriginal, and second of all, how much you owe to these guys who you claim to have never heard of. You know?
Big L.
Yeah. The heist. Heist story. I mean, come on, man. Just storytelling at its finest. That's the kind of shit that like I aspire to. Like, I could never write something like that. It's so fucking clever. It's so good. Yeah. It's so well done. It's not just here it is. It's laid out in a way that just so perfect.
Yeah.
This kind of brings us to the Young Thug thing.
Sure. Yeah.
We'll swing it around to Christmas in a minute. But we do have to address this.
You didn't talk about your Christmas gifts.
Yeah, we'll get there.
Let's end with that. We'll bookend it. We'll make it a story.
There you go. See?
Okay.
You get it.
Thank you.
So Young Thug has been like making it like his thing to just say really stupid stuff.
Yeah.
And this most recent thing, I think it was, I don't know what podcast he was on. Was he on Drink Champs?
I don't know this one. I didn't look at the source. I just saw the quote and I went, I'm done. I'm done. I'm finished with this.
I don't know what podcast he was on either, but he just has this really, he says,
Booby.
he's talking about his songs, and he's talking about how it compares generationally or whatever, and he's just like, you know, Jay-Z, for some reason, that's the first thing that popped into his head, and he's like, Jay-Z doesn't have those kind of songs. You know, Jay-Z doesn't have bangers. He doesn't have like stadium records. He doesn't have 30 songs that you could play that everybody knows the words to. And then, he was on Gilly the Kid's podcast, who, if you guys are uninitiated, Philly rapper Gilly the Kid, whose biggest claim to fame was he wrote for, he kind of wrote for, or he helped write for Lil Wayne, and then him and Lil Wayne beefed for a little while, and he actually came out with some like really decent diss records. I might have the writing thing mixed up, so don't quote me on that. But I know for sure that they did beef for a little while, and he came out with some like really like hot diss records, and then he just kind of fell off the face of the earth because
Started a podcast
as you do. And so he was on that guy's podcast, and Gilly was like, yeah, but he has a lot of good songs though. And immediately you could see Young Thug knew he fucked up, and he was like, yeah. I mean,
and reverse walked through the door.
Just,
walked up the ceiling.
Yeah, he walked that back like Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
Like it. Yeah, but the damage was done.
Yeah,
he had said it, and the internet went fucking crazy. And this is why I don't know how many accounts you follow on Twitter that are like that consider themselves hip hop Twitter. Not a lot, probably not.
No,
dude, I only follow a handful, but the problem is that handful retweets a bunch of other people, so I'm kind of like seeing all of these opinions.
Yeah, I follow mostly indie rockers. It's a much happier place. Much more depressed, but still in a way happy place.
I would like to transition to that. I would like to get out of hip hop Twitter, because all it does is make me angry all day.
Yeah.
It is filled with people who they deliver hot takes that they're so hot that it's like, how can I even entertain this? You said something so outrageous that I can't even justify this with an answer.
It's like the Sandler clip of the guy who's like, what you just said is the most stupid thing that I've ever heard.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And, you know, so this thing blows up all over hip-hop Twitter, and you see all these people who are like, Young Thug's, you know, he's an idiot and blah, blah, blah. But then you see other people who are like, I mean, he not wrong, though. I mean,
he is wrong, though. He's wrong, though.
He's wrong.
He's wrong, though.
Absolutely
He's wrong, though. It's not even an old hip-hop head thing to say that Jay-Z has way more stadium-level hits than Young Thug does.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just...
by like double.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
It doesn't make any sense, because you're a fan of Young Thug. You're like, yeah, I mean, but Young Thug got bangers, though. It's like, sure, dude. Because you like him, that's fine. And he does have some songs that are, you know, nominally big.
Sure.
Jay-Z has been in the game since 1996, dude. What are you talking about?
Yeah, but they don't know those songs, though.
He had the number one album for, I think, 10 albums in a row. The number one album. He's been hot. He's been hot since before Young Thug was even born.
Right.
Because you're 19 and you look at Jay-Z as now like the businessman guy and you don't understand. That's fine. But you don't get to also turn around and be like, he ain't got songs like that. because you're 19
because you're ignorant
and you weren't outside in 2003.
Yeah.
Okay,
playing with Lego.
Jay-Z retired and then came back and then had a second career that is better than most guys' full careers.
Yeah.
I mean, what? It is such a. I mean, and honestly, I'm more upset at the people on that podcast than Young Thug. Gilly the Kid knows better. He's an old head. He's from Philly. He should have immediately been like, pump the brakes. What you just said was really, really stupid. And you need to check yourself before you wreck yourself.
Yeah.
Because that's such a stupid fucking thing.
Yeah, but I don't like how he did Beanie Siegel, though.
And I guess I'm realizing now that a lot of my ire stemming from a couple episodes ago was really just directed at Young Thug.
Yeah.
And then the young people on hip hop Twitter.
The Young Thugs.
The Young Thugs on hip hop Twitter that will defend a guy.
Is that what his fan group is called?
The Young Thugs.
Yeah. Okay.
And that's where most of that energy was directed.
Yeah.
Is that when I go on hip hop Twitter and people are talking about, stuff like this.
Well, listen, because one guy says it doesn't matter much. Mm-hmm. But when one guy says it and then other people back him up just because they're a fan of his music, like, that gets my goat, buddy.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Grinds my gears.
Grinds the gears.
Because you have to, like, you're watching ignorance at play.
Mm-hmm.
These children, they don't know what they speak of. I want to educate them. I want to bring them in. Yeah. I want to show them what they're missing. But I think that they're in a place that they're so ingrained in young thuggery that they won't accept it.
No.
They won't accept it. Even though it's objectively great music.
Yeah.
They'll look at it and go, shit doesn't bang.
I mean, I had to I had my little cousin in the car. My cousin is 17, so he's the perfect.
Your little thugsin?
Yeah, he's my little thugsin.
Uh-huh.
And he listens to all of the guys that you would imagine that he listened to. Trippie Redd, fucking he doesn't really like Uzi Vert, but the guys that you're like, that's a rapper? Like NBA Youngboy and YBN, all these weird names. You're like, that's a person's name? And you start sounding like you're 40 years old. Like, who? That ain't real music. So
the Wu-Tang Clan?
So he listens to all that shit. We were in the car, and I had to go to the liquor store to grab more shit for
New
Year's. And we'll obviously go into more detail about this, but I was playing Doom because I was like, look, I know you're probably not going to like it.
I thought you meant the game for a second. I was like, I mean, it's a good game. Why are you playing it?
No, I was playing MF Doom.
Right.
In the car. And I was like, listen, you're probably not going to like this, but you're in my car, and I'm going to listen to nothing but MF Doom for at least a week.
Yeah.
So you have to deal with this. And so he's in the back seat, and I'm listening to, I put on all caps, obviously, and an accordion, and basically just started playing Mad Villainy, the album, all the way through. Mm-hmm. And I can hear him in the back, and he's like, yo, I mean, this shit kind of slapped, though. I'm not even gonna lie. And I'm like, yeah, it does kind of slap.
It does kind of slap. Young sir.
It slaps all the way, okay?
Yeah.
Not kind of. It is
slap worthy.
But to your point, if these kids had somebody in their life who was like, look.
You can't say these kids without shaking your fist.
If these kids had somebody in their life that would sit them down and be like, look, you can listen to Young Thug, and you can listen to Trippie Redd, and you can listen to YBN, Who's a What's It, and whatever. But you also need to be educated on these other guys. I think that they would accept that more readily than being told your music is trash.
You're wrong. I'm right.
Yeah.
Listen to this instead.
That's the only way to get through to people. You need to meet people, and this just goes for everything, right? If you're trying to convince somebody of something, you need to meet them where they can meet you. It has to be a crossroad. You can't
a bridge. You're making a bridge.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You can't tell people that they're wrong and here's why. You have to show them in a way that's like, I understand why you feel like that, but let me show you an alternate way of looking at this thing, and then you decide how you want to feel about this later.
The way I picture it is, we're both on the edges of a river, right? You can either say you got to go left, you got to go right. I go right all the time. You're trying to go left, it's the wrong way.
Right.
Or we can decide to go across. Right? Right? Let's go across. But in order to do that, you got to make concessions. You got to see them. You got to understand them a little bit, or else you're not going to make it.
Yeah. That's exactly it.
That's all you got to do.
That's exactly it.
I played a lot of Death Stranding. That's what I learned.
You got to,
You got to cross those bridges.
Exactly. And so I think a lot of it has to do with, young people they just don't want to, I mean, we were young once.
But that's the difference, though. We talked about this before, is we were also students of hip-hop.
Yeah.
We respected the rock hymns. We respected the Grandmaster Flashes and everyone else who came before.
But see, but that's different, because there are people like you and I.
Sure.
There's a lot of people like you and I, but there's also a lot of people who
don't want to dig that deep.
No. And you can't. It took me a long time to realize that you just have to accept that about some people. Like, I've had friends, I think I've talked about this on the show, but when I was coming up and I was teaching myself and I was learning how to just be better. And obviously this kind of goes for, it was kind of a good example of what MF Doom did for me just as an artist.
Yeah.
You listen to people like him, and you listen to people like the Rock Hymns, the Daddy Kanes. You listen to all these legends, and then you listen to the weird artists, and then you listen to like artists who aren't that good, just to kind of like, you get a full picture of what it is to be good at something, right?
You reach out and you find stuff that you don't like, and you understand why you don't like it.
Right.
And it may not be bad, but you understand why you don't like it.
Right. If you're an aspiring basketball player, what do? You sit and you watch highlights of the best players in the game. You don't watch the fucking guys who are coming off the bench. Yeah, like, what do you watch the greatest of all time, and you see why they were great.
Yeah.
I don't know why other people in hip hop don't understand, like, that's how you get good at something. You watch the guys who are at Mount Olympus.
It's because it's hip hop and music in general is so objective.
Yeah.
So there is no, you can justify a Mount Olympus for everyone. You can. You just can.
But there is a consensus that we have come to. So much so that I am bored of top 10 lists
but
of rappers.
There's enough people who will say, you're a traditionalist. That's trash. Here's why.
Right.
I like this guy. Why? He's weird. His lyrics aren't very good, but, shit bops.
Right.
And that's why I rank him above Scarface.
Right.
It's such an objective thing that, unlike sports where you can be like, he scored a ton more than that guy.
Yeah.
There's nothing you can point to other than like record sales, which sucks.
Yeah,
as
but
a
if you start
barometer.
doing that, then you're like, well, Drake's the greatest rapper of all time.
Sure. Pitbull.
Yeah.
Incredible artist.
Yeah.
That's a shitty barometer for success in hip hop.
Yeah.
Or artistry, I should say, in general.
Yeah.
I think that's why it's so, hard to pin down this is the Mount Olympus. This is our, monument of greatness for everyone.
I think we've kind of established who's in the top 20 at this point. And then if you're a person who's like, that's trash, it's like, all right, cool. You can feel that way. But I think
the consensus is that,
we've kind of come to a point where there's a couple of names that just everyone's going to put on their list. And I think even still, I respect what you're saying, and you're right. But at the same time, I still feel like if you're a young person who wants to rap, and your first thought is like, but that's all old shit. It's like, but you have to understand how we got here to get to where you want to go.
Yeah.
And if you don't do that, that's fine. You could still be a probably decent artist, but you'll never ascend to that next level, and you'll have nobody to blame but yourself. But you can't turn around and be like, I don't know why people don't respect my music. It's like, well, because you chose to, like, there was people, I'm not going to name names, but there was people that I used to go to school with, and I would try. Yes. And I would try to convince them to listen to other artists than the ones that they were listening to. But they were stuck on the guys that were coming out now, and they were stuck on artists that were okay, but they just wanted to make music that was popular right then at that moment.
Yeah.
And even when I was in high school, I understood that that's not what greatness is. Greatness isn't making the shit that's hot now. Yeah. It's the shit that's hot forever.
Yeah.
And I understood even in high school, Nas or Jay-Z or Outkast, because they were still hot at the time, they had been hot since 94, 95, 96. Why? Why are they still relevant? And why aren't other guys from that era? Right? And you have to listen to those guys, and you have to listen to all of them to understand why a Jay-Z can last from 96 to now.
Yeah.
And why a LL Cool J, for instance, can't. You have to understand that full scope.
Hey, he had to come back, okay?
Did he?
One album. Let me get your head sprung.
Bro, when that song came out, I was in my room and I was just looking around like, is no one else hearing this? I can't believe that this is a real song. I can't believe he's actually done this.
Yeah.
I can't believe you've done this.
LL.
So yeah, I think if you're not going to put the work in, that's fine. It's the same thing as like basketball. If you don't want to put the work in and you have a natural ability, it's only going to take you so far. But you have to understand why are you even doing, like Young Thug, for instance. The reason that he does what he does is because of Lil Wayne.
Yeah.
It's obvious, it's clear. He even has Lil Wayne's name tatted on him. I don't know if you knew that. This article came out that he kind of revealed that on the show too.
Did not.
His Lil Wayne's name tatted on his arm. And he looks at Lil Wayne as probably the best rapper of all time, right? Lil Wayne looks at Jay-Z as the best rapper of all time. Jay-Z looks at Biggie and Big Daddy Kane as the best rappers of all time. Big Daddy Kane looks at Kool Moe Dee or KRS-One as the best rappers of all time. You have to find that through line and understand the whole thing. You don't have to rap like KRS-One. Nobody's telling you to do fucking pro-black edutainment shit. You don't have to do that, but it would serve you well to listen to Sound of the Police and understand.
At least know your history.
Yeah.
You know, in the genre.
And this isn't like reading a fucking book. It's awesome to sit down and just listen to some like old school shit and be like, damn, this is what niggas was listening to in fucking 1984. Like, that's fun.
Yeah. NWA? What?
I don't get it, man.
I think a lot of it has to do with pride. I think it's just the thing of like, I am an alien. I am beyond these people.
Oh, I fucking hate that I'm an alien shit.
I'm bigger than this entire thing. I don't have any influences. I am my own person. I've never been influenced by anyone else. I'm immaculately concepted.
Like why people think that they're so goddamn special.
I think they think that makes them special, but it doesn't.
If everyone is doing this, I'm an alien, I'm a Martian, I'm not from this planet, I'm a hustler, I'm not a rapper shit. If everyone's doing it, what makes you special?
You hit upon a very good point, Margo. But, you know, I think it's just pride. I think that, again, like Daniel Day-Lewis going back to his trailer and, you know, scarfing down a McRib. I think that these guys go back home and sit down and go, yeah, I mean, of course Jay-Z influenced me. Of course, X, Y, and Z influenced me. Of course, I came before all of these other greats.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say that on TV. I'm not going to say that on a podcast.
Right.
I need to keep up appearances. It's like part of playing a caricature.
It's such bullshit.
Of this hip-hop braggadocio. I am beyond all of your conceptions of what this thing can be.
So ridiculous.
So that's all I think it is. That's all I think it is.
I agree with you.
That's all, because there's no way they're not influenced by the greats, Outkast,
Yeah.
you know, Jay-Z, Nas, whatever, anyone else, but
to say Jay-Z doesn't have 30 stadium records, man, come on, dude.
silly. You're silly.
That's
Factually wrong.
Dude,
You're factually wrong.
That's 2 of his albums. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Honestly, yeah. Two albums back to back, he has it right there.
He's good. He's good to go. This guy's been out there performing full albums. Not just, here's my greatest hits. Let me give you a good set list. No. He sat down and said, you know what? I have put out albums so good that I'll just do that album, and people will be happy with just the
like
album.
a classic rock artist.
Yeah.
You can just go out and play the album.
Yeah.
It's incredible. It's incredible for a hip-hop artist to be able to do that.
Jay-Z is in the Songwriters Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
You know how rare that is? If I'm not mistaken, he is right now the only rapper in it. That's going to change, but now, he's the only one in it.
Yeah.
And you're going to sit here and tell me that he doesn't have records that will bang in a stadium. Like, I just want to just be face-to-face with Young Thug and just be like, shut up. Like, what are you talking about?
Let me talk to you for a second. Shut up.
I refuse to believe that you haven't heard enough. One guy was like, what did they say? His biggest record was, I think they might have said Big Pimpin' was Jay-Z's biggest record. And I'm like, that's just factually incorrect. His biggest records are, Jay-Z has been around so long that his biggest records are songs that I don't even like.
Yeah.
Empire State of Mind is his biggest record. If we're being all the way real.
The song was everywhere.
That's his biggest record.
Yeah.
It went like triple platinum. He won a Grammy. It's his biggest song.
What was that on?
Blueprint 3.
Ugh.
And Blueprint 3 sucks. It sucks. And that's where his biggest song is on. His worst album.
Yeah.
You can't.
That's a bar right there.
Right?
My biggest song is on my worst album.
It's like, come on, man. You can't compare to that.
Yeah, no.
Anyway.
So what'd you get for Christmas?
The family had a good Christmas. You know, it was a resounding success. Apparently, everybody.
Good.
I think we were kind of all trying to make up for, like, how shitty the year was.
Yeah.
So we all kind of got each other like some really good stuff.
Good.
You know, and you know, I've been able to save money, so I got a couple dollars left over that I can like get some decent stuff for everybody.
Nice.
So I got a what I received was I got this. My parents got me this beautiful acoustic guitar. Just this
Saw that.
this piece of machinery that I'm like, I don't deserve this.
Brand?
Guild.
Okay.
And I looked it up, and it's like it's because they didn't get me, you know, like a
it's not a Taylor.
right. It
looks very pretty.
It's a piece of art, and it
Nice.
out the box,
Plays.
low action,
Yeah.
needed zero tuning out the box.
Oh, I love it.
I mean,
That gets my loins going.
Yeah.
You know, like, I love that.
Oh.
Oh, I love that feel of it. Brand new.
and stuff like that it inspires you to want to live up to that.
Yeah.
You don't want that. You don't want a piece of machinery like that collecting dust in the corner.
It feels like a samurai getting his sword.
Yes.
For it's just been forged.
Yes. I pick it up every day, and it's renewed what was already like this bubbling thing of like, I need to expand my artistry.
Yeah.
It's just kind of lit another fire that was already like just part of what was already bubbling. Now I'm like just full on. My fingers will be hurting, and it'll be in the corner. I'm just like, here's the thing, if my fingers don't feel numb, I'm like, I haven't played enough today. Like, they need to be calloused. They need to hurt a little bit.
Yeah. I think
Or
we have
I
to do that
haven't
with
played
our
enough.
entire bodies and just start working out more.
Yeah. Well, that was the other thing. My sister, because you know she's way healthier than we'll ever be.
Yeah. True.
She used to do CrossFit, and then she did weightlifting, like full on like competitions and shit. So what she wanted for Christmas was she wants to build a home gym. So my parents got her like this really, really nice Rogue, excuse me, barbell.
Nice.
Which are like pretty hard to get right now because everybody's building home gyms.
Yep.
And then I found a bunch of bumper plates, the ones that you can drop a bunch.
Okay.
And that blew her mind. She was like, "How did you find these?" It was like a really nice moment and all that stuff. So we've been doing that the past like week. Mm-hmm. So we're you've got that.
Can I come over?
Yeah.
Okay.
Of course you can.
Because I'm very fat. very fat.
Should we talk about the weight loss challenge?
We have to in order for us to keep it.
Yeah.
Because I feel like if we don't say it now, we're not going to stick to it.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Well, I mean, we've kind of talked about it on and off. I think we've talked about it on and off for a while.
Yeah.
Just as like an idea kind of thrown out there.
It started as like a Sober October sort of conversation where we were talking. Where we were.
Yeah. So
where we were talking about, like trying to do basically a health challenge.
Yeah.
To try to be better in a given year. So, yeah, I mean, I think that we've both in 2020 gone through the ringer mentally and emotionally.
Yeah.
And physically.
Yeah.
So I think we're ready for a change. We're ready for a positive change.
Yep.
For a change.
Yep.
So we're going to enact a 2021 weight loss challenge.
That's right. So we have to figure out first how we're going to do it, how we're going to judge it,
right,
and then what does the winner get?
Yes.
Right?
Yep.
So
we'll have all three of those by next episode.
Yeah. You're right, because that'll take us a while to fucking deliberate on.
Correct. But just a preview for you guys. Hold us to it. If we don't do it in the next episode, get on our asses.
Yes.
On all social media platforms, please.
Yes. So we'll do that. Next episode, we'll just focus on that next episode.
Okay. Yeah.
And then we'll deliberate, get that together.
Okay.
So I think we'll just end it with Doom.
Yes.
All right.
Yep.
So MF Doom, if you guys, again, if you're uninitiated, I mean, this is a good episode to kind of bring this up, talking about appreciating hip hop in all its forms and all facets of it. MF Doom, legendary underground rapper, considered your favorite rapper's favorite rapper. Everyone from LP,
Odd Future
to even Drake.
Yeah.
Have referenced him as an influence on their career. Apparently passed away 2 months ago.
Yeah. On
Halloween.
Yeah.
Apparently he transitioned as his wife said. A lot of people were confused by her statement on his Instagram
because they're dumb.
How stupid
dumb.
do you have
they're
to
dumb.
be?
They're dumb. I think I like to think in this way is that they didn't want to believe that that's what it was.
I saw some people saying some really, really idiot. Like there was people who were like, "I hope it just means like he transitioned." Like, what like gender? And there was people who genuinely were like, I mean, I get that if it's between him dying and him being a woman, I'd pick him being a woman than him dying.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
But it's just like, I don't know, man. Sometimes you see things and people will be like, what does rest in power mean? It's like, do you even really listen to hip hop?
Can you shut up? Can you just shut up for a minute, please?
Like transitioned from the mortal realm to the spiritual realm is a pretty common thing.
It's pretty clear.
Yeah. Anyway, I don't want to spend too much time harping on that.
What the confusion was that this time space had been had happened in between his death and the announcement of it, which speculation led me to believe that it was because his family wanted to mourn him, on a personal level, and then express that publicly. Which makes sense.
And it also makes sense for the Doom character.
Yeah.
For him to have died on Halloween and then nobody know until fucking New Year's.
Right.
Like, it's just such a doom thing to happen.
It really is, yeah. It really is.
So, yeah, I mean, if it was something where the family wanted to mourn him in peace and not have to deal with all this shit until they were ready to do it, that's perfectly okay.
Yeah.
And I don't know, people just really, I don't know, just it's really not that confusing. But anyway, so, and other people were confused because they were like, I don't understand, like, why is she on his Instagram and like posting the thing? It's like, what is so hard for you guys to understand? He died, and she posted on his Instagram a message to him and to us as his fans to let us know that he passed.
Right.
And she said a nice thing about him on his... Like, how was that hard? How's that hard for you guys?
Let's not linger on it.
Right.
Because that's not what's important.
What's important is how much MF Doom meant to us and how much he meant to hip-hop. You saw it in the outpouring of respect and love from pretty much every corner of hip-hop and even, you know, popular music in general. Obviously, like, white hipsters love to cite MF Doom, so you see a lot of Pitchfork, Stereo Gum, NME, stuff like that. And I'll just say, for me, as an artist, I kind of touched on it earlier, but like, listening to, I remember I discovered him late through Adult Swim.
Mm-hmm.
And because he did a collaboration album with Danger Mouse called The Mouse and the Mask, where he did a bunch of songs that were like based around Adult Swim's current lineup of TV shows.
Teen Hunger Force.
Which is, in retrospect, I mean, I came to this conclusion a while ago, but think about how good you have to be to do that. You know? Like, just watch a block of shows and then go, I'll make a whole album about this block of shows.
Essentially an ad.
Yeah.
It's all an ad.
It's a one big ad.
Yeah.
Motherfucker was a genius.
But it's also a classic album.
Yeah. So I discovered him through that. And then, you know, once you get that, it opens you up to everything, and then you go back and you listen to all this stuff. So, you know, you listen to his first couple of records, you listen to Operation Doomsday, and you listen to Food, and then you find yourself listening to Mad Villainy, and you're just like, how have I gone my whole life not having heard this album? Yep. It's just so goddamn good. And I got Food, and they packaged it in like this like foil wrapping, and I got like this special edition poster and all this stuff. Suffice to say, I'm a big fan of MF Doom, and when I discovered him, it was a pretty pivotal moment in my life, because at that time, it was when all of these influences were kind of meshing together. Mm-hmm. You know, at the same time discovering him, I'm listening to a lot of old school stuff. I'm listening to a lot of like Black Star, Mos Def, Talib Kweli, The Roots, all of this stuff is kind of like coalescing. Yeah. And it just was like the perfect moment. And then, you know, you go around and you tell everybody who will fucking listen, like, have you heard of MF Doom? And then you get that like jolt of electricity when they haven't, because it's a guy that like you can put people onto.
Oh, well, let me tell you.
Right. And so, you know, he's just one of those guys that just kind of like hangs over everything that you do. And his music is just so... It's just really, really fucking sad, man. It's just really sad. When I saw the news, I was scrolling through Instagram, and I saw his face keep popping up. Yeah. And it was like, either he released a new album...
Or he's dead.
Yeah.
Basically the same for me, too. It's especially sad given the fact that his son died not too long ago, too. Mm-hmm. And that was clearly like a pivotal moment. Because from then, like, you know, he's always been pretty reclusive, but from especially then, like, it was basically blackout.
Yeah.
And just like the record company selling like shirts and shit.
Yeah.
But he basically fell off the face of the planet.
Well, I think that's why people were confused, because they were selling merch, and they also did an Instagram filter with his mask. Uh-huh. And people were like, that happened like a month ago. So he was dead when they did this.
Yeah. Yeah. It's crazy.
Which is a weird thing to do. But I don't think they knew. I don't think Rhyme Sayers and I don't think his representatives knew.
I don't think they knew either. I think the family kept it very, very tight And I mean, that's part of the magic of being reclusive. Is it's another business. So
yeah. Let me ask you this, because I saw your tweet about him, and like when you listened to him, you were like, "What the fuck?" And then obviously you got it later.
Yeah.
So like, kind of go into that, because I like that idea too. I like.
Yeah. So I discovered Doom through Adult Swim like you did.
Mm-hmm.
And when I heard it, I was like, "What the fuck is this?" Like, this is weird.
Yeah.
I don't know what this is. And at the time, I was like such a hip hop snob.
Mm-hmm.
I was so into like intricate flows and like, you know, lyricism and it all being so tight and technical. I was into technical hip hop at the time. And that was just something MF Doom's style just didn't compute to me. It sounded sloppy. It sounded like it didn't make sense. Like it didn't, everything he was doing, like it just didn't sync up to me. And I went backwards and went to his once I found out about him, and then I started hearing rumblings in the underground of hip hop and on the internet and stuff about how good he is. And I was like, all these people really like this guy? Like, really? Like, he sounds like kind of weird. Like, he gave me big, like, ODB feels, you know, where it's like, it's very strange and like he has his own lane, but like, I wasn't about that at the time. I was all about technical flows and like, you know, just lyricist lounge shit.
Yeah.
But then I went back and did my, you know, crate digging of finding his first albums and went through those. And I still didn't quite get it, but I kept listening. Mm-hmm. And I kept listening and kept listening. And then eventually it all just somehow, like, the later on I got through his albums, the more it made sense.
Yeah.
And the more like it formed a character and it formed like a style that made sense for the character. Yeah. And it made sense for the world he was building, and it made sense for like everything suddenly started to slowly, piece by piece, come together for me.
Yeah.
Until I, you know, just like you, I'm a huge MF Doom fan now.
Yeah.
And like every single project he's done, he hasn't done a bad project.
Yeah.
Everything has had some merit to it, and like he has like 3 Stone Cold classics within his discography, and like him accomplishing that on top of being so unique is something really special, especially in hip hop, which is so steeped in like tradition and style virtuosity and all of this stuff that like these things that people hold on to in hip hop that have to do with limitations that are self-imposed really within the genre. He like, I don't know how he did it, but he transcended all of that. Yeah. And just said, this is what I'm doing, and that's what it is.
Right.
And then people liked it. So I just think that's incredibly like unique and incredibly powerful in the genre. I don't think there's another Doom out there right now.
Not to mention the entire Doom thing is the second act of his career. I mean, he had an entire career with his brother, and he was an entirely different rapper.
Yeah, he's like a traditional old school hip hop artist.
Then his brother passes away. His life is kind of filled with tragedy. Yeah. And he comes back as this character, this fully fleshed out character that he's created with a whole universe and a backstory and all of this stuff. And you're right. On first glance, you're like, what's happening? How is this a real
what
person?
What is this?
And how is this acceptable?
Yeah.
How have we let this happen?
In such a self-serious genre as hip hop.
Yeah.
You know?
For him to do what he does.
To be a comic book villain.
Yeah.
That he just made up himself.
And everyone was just like, once you heard it, you were like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he's not fucking around.
Yeah.
That's the best part about it, is once you kind of understand what he's doing, you're like, this is virtuosic. This is really good. What he's doing is something that not a lot of people, if anybody, can do as well
Yeah.
as he can and did.
Yeah.
So, rest in power
Mm-hmm.
to the great Metal Fingers motherfucking Doom
All caps.
when you spell the man's name. I think that's about it. Let's
That's
review
it.
these brewskis and get the fuck out of here. So, say it again. The Boatswain,
Bosun.
Boatswain,
Mm-hmm.
the Boatswain.
You got it.
Say it correctly.
Bosun.
Boatswain H.L.V. ale, heavy lift vessel, 7% ABV, from the great Trader Joe's. Obi, what'd you think?
Surprised me. I liked it better than I thought it was going to.
Mm-hmm.
It seemed very basic based off of the packaging and such, and the price. I mean, again, these are only like $8. So
That's always the best. Good investment on the beer.
yeah,
Taste returns it.
yep, decent ABV. Yeah, I mean, it surprised me. It's pretty well balanced. The only thing that I am not a huge fan of is how much of a hoppy flavor this gives. Just because I'm more of a fan of, I'm sorry, the sweet flavor, I would say, is the malty sweetness of it is a little too much. I prefer the malt or the I don't know what it's because of puppy.
Get it together.
It's because of puppy is distracting you right
Yeah, I
now.
know.
Hold on.
Such a pretty girl.
Grab it for me. I'm sorry, everybody.
So I think that the Bosun is a little bit too sweet because it has a little bit too much malt. But that being said, it's a very good beer,
It's a very good beer.
especially for the price.
Oh, look at the yawn. She's so tired.
So I'm going to give it a 4.5 because
4.5.
I prefer more hops.
What you want for the hops? Look at that little girl. Oh, she's so pretty. She's so pretty. You know what? I'm gonna give it a 4.5, but I do like the sweetness of it.
Okay.
I just don't think I don't think it deserves a 5 out of 6. I don't think it's that good, but I do. I like the sweetness of it. I think it was. I was also pleasantly surprised. I thought this was. I mean, if I'm being all the way 100 with you guys, I thought it was gonna suck.
Yeah.
I
I kind of did too. I bought it for the price, but yeah.
So unanimous 4.5 for the HLV.
Okay.
From Trader Joe's. I think we got it.
I think we got it.
If you think we got it?
I think we got it.
Well, as long as you think we got it, then that means this has been the One Baron Podcast. For myself, Marco Dupa. For Adam Obesius Rodriguez.
Have a great new year, brewskis.
Thank you guys for listening. Drink delicious beer. Like, share, and subscribe everywhere that podcasts are sold, listened to, and consumed. And have a beautiful evening.
We love you.